Let me start with a blunt truth. Most ACCA students waste money. Not a little bit. Thousands of pounds, dollars, euros, gone into coaching centers, half-baked tutors, recycled notes, and courses that promise the world and then vanish when results come out. Let me tell you a quick story. A student in London, desperate to clear ACCA MA, spent nearly £800 on private coaching and printed materials. He attended every class, made all the notes, tried every paid shortcut. And guess what? He still failed. Now here's where it gets crazy. Another student, same exam, same attempt. This one couldn't afford coaching. She went hunting online, found every free resource possible, and built her own strategy. Guess what happened? She passed. First attempt. Same paper. Two different outcomes. The difference wasn't intelligence. The difference wasn't talent. The difference was knowing exactly where to look and how to use what's already out there for free. And today, I'm going to expose all of it. By the end of this video, you'll have a free ACCA survival toolkit that's honestly better than half the overpriced courses floating around. No fluff, no nonsense. Just straight talk and the exact roadmap that works. Here's the harsh reality nobody tells you when you start ACCA. Most students think buying more notes equals better results. They fall for slick marketing, tutors selling recycled material from 10 years ago, or so-called miracle guides that guarantee a pass. Let me be blunt, if you're depending only on random YouTube videos stitched together or those WhatsApp groups where people forward outdated PDFs, let me save you some pain right now. You're setting yourself up for failure. I've seen it happen again and again. A student from Birmingham downloaded every so-called latest notes shared in Telegram groups, studied them religiously, and still bombed the exam. Why? Because half of those notes were outdated, incomplete, and straight up irrelevant to the real exam. That's the trap. And yet, there's good news. Because ACCA itself, the very body you're paying exam fees to, has already given you gold mines of resources. And they are completely free. The problem is most students don't even know how to use them properly. So let's break it down, paper by paper, resource by resource, and show you what's actually worth your time. Let's start with the official ACCA resources. This is the backbone, the core, the foundation of your free toolkit. The ACCA Global website itself is not just a homepage to register and pay your exam fees, it's a treasure chest. Inside, you'll find past exam papers, technical articles, and examiners' reports. Now let me tell you a quick story. One of my students in New York failed audit twice. He was devastated. He thought he wasn't cut out for ACCA. He was about to quit. Then I asked him a simple question: have you ever read the examiners' reports? His answer: what's that? I pointed him to ACCA Global. He spent 2 weeks going through examiner reports, understanding exactly why students fail, and where they lose marks. The result? He smashed audit in the very next attempt. No extra course, no extra tutor, just free insights directly from the people who write the exam. That's the power of official resources. Then comes the ACCA practice platform. If you're not using this, you are basically training for the wrong sport. Let me be blunt. Imagine preparing for a basketball game your whole life, and then on exam day, you're asked to play cricket. That's exactly what happens when students prepare only on paper or random PDFs. And then sit in front of the actual ACCA exam software for the first time on exam day. The layout is different, the typing interface is different, even the way you navigate between questions is different. It shocks students, eats up their time, and leads to silly mistakes. But ACCA gives you a free practice platform, with specimen exams and mock papers in the exact same environment as your real exam. One of my students from Toronto had this exact problem. Failed FM once because she freaked out at the exam interface. Second attempt, she spent 2 months practicing only on the platform. Cleared with 68 marks. Same knowledge, different training environment. That's the difference. And then there's the Study Hub. This is a game changer most students still ignore. The ACCA Study Hub is loaded with free study materials, structured according to the syllabus. I'll give you a case story. A student in Manchester couldn't afford BPP books. She didn't even have Kaplan notes. All she used was the ACCA Study Hub content and examiners' reports. She disciplined herself to follow the Study Hub exactly like a paid textbook. Result? She scored 72 in FM. Without buying a single book. This is proof that the Study Hub is not just a side resource. It's a complete free alternative to expensive study texts. The only catch is, most students don't know it exists or don't take it seriously. That's on them. Now let's move outside the official sources. External free resources, if used smartly, can completely change your game. The first name here is Open Tuition. Let me be honest, Open Tuition is not fancy. It doesn't have polished animations or Hollywood-level editing. But it has what you need: free notes, free lectures, and free forums where thousands of students help each other. Think of it like the Harvard of broke ACCA students. And that's not an insult, it's the truth. Thousands of students have passed exams by relying only on Open Tuition. One of my students in Nairobi, struggling financially, didn't have access to any paid coaching. She used only Open Tuition notes and practice questions, and she passed 3 consecutive papers on her first attempt. That's how powerful it can be, if you stay disciplined. Then there's YouTube. Now, I need to give you a blunt warning here. YouTube is flooded with ACCA content. Some of it is gold, but most of it is random fluff. The problem with relying only on YouTube is that most creators cover just 10% of what you actually need. They'll give you topic explainers, shortcuts, or motivation, but they won't give you exam-focused, structured learning. That's why at Education Bench, we're building something different. This video itself is proof. We cut the fluff, strip out the nonsense, and give you exam-focused strategies. So yes, YouTube is powerful, but you need to know which channels are legit. Reddit and student communities can also help. On Reddit, thousands of ACCA students share their experiences, discuss tricky questions, and even upload their own notes. But here's the catch, it's a mixed bag. Half the advice is gold. The other half is people venting their failures. If you don't know how to filter, you'll end up more confused than before. I'll give you an example. A student from Berlin used Reddit smartly, only for tips on time management and recent exam patterns. He ignored the rants, ignored the noise, and used it to fine-tune his strategy. Result? He cleared ACCA with 78. That's how you use Reddit. Smartly, selectively. And then we have free ACCA apps and flashcards. You'd be surprised how many free quiz apps exist for ACCA formulas, MCQs, and quick revision. One of my students in New Jersey had no time to sit down with books because of his full-time job. He used only free flashcard apps on his train commute every day. By exam day, he had revised all the FM formulas 5 times over, without ever opening a big textbook. He passed with ease. Sometimes, it's not about how much time you have. It's about how creatively you use free resources to fit your lifestyle. But let's be clear, free resources are only powerful if you know the do's and don'ts. Here's where most students trip up. Do stick to official sources and trusted platforms like ACCA Global, Study Hub, Practice Platform, and Open Tuition. Do practice in exam-style conditions with a timer, in the same format as the real exam. Do combine free resources into a structured plan instead of randomly jumping around. Don't waste 6 hours scrolling through Telegram groups hunting for so-called leaked papers. They're fake, always fake, and even if they weren't, ACCA changes questions all the time. Don't depend on random WhatsApp notes sent by someone who failed the exam twice. That's like asking a non-driver to teach you Formula 1 racing. Here's a case that still makes me shake my head. One of my students, let's call him Adam, kept chasing leaked questions on Telegram. He thought he was getting insider material. Exam day came, and not a single question matched. He failed, not once, but twice. He wasted 6 months chasing shortcuts that didn't exist. Meanwhile, another student who focused only on the ACCA Practice Platform and Study Hub cleared the same exam on the first try. That's the difference between smart and lazy preparation. Let me share a few more real-world case studies because this is where the truth really hits. Student A, from the UK, overpaid on premium coaching. He ignored examiner reports, thinking his tutor's notes were enough. He failed. Student B, from the USA, couldn't afford anything beyond Open Tuition and past papers. He stayed consistent, disciplined, and cleared on the first attempt. Student C, from Europe, blended ACCA's free study hub with YouTube explainer videos for areas she found tough. She scored in the 80s. These 3 stories highlight one blunt truth: it's not about how much you spend. It's about how smartly you use what's already available. I'll give you another example from Dubai. A working mother preparing for ACCA wasn't able to attend classes or spend on coaching. She used only the study hub and open tuition notes while juggling her kids and work. She passed PM with 65 marks. Another one from Canada. This student was obsessed with buying every Kaplan book, every BPP revision kit, spending hundreds of dollars. But he never once logged into the practice platform. On exam day, he panicked, wasted time figuring out the interface, and failed. That's the harsh reality. Expensive resources without smart usage equal failure. Free resources with discipline equal success. So here's your free ACCA toolkit in plain words. ACCA Global website with past papers and examiner reports, the official practice platform, the study hub, open tuition for lectures and notes, and selective YouTube and community learning. That's it. If you use just these 5 pillars, you are already ahead of 80% of students who waste money chasing shortcuts. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't fall for fake leaks. Don't spend thousands when you haven't even touched what's free. Let me close with a blunt hook. Don't blame ACCA for being expensive if you haven't even explored the free resources first. The real question is this: will you actually use them, or will you keep scrolling TikTok until exam day and then complain? The choice is yours. If you're serious, if you want structured, exam-focused free lessons, subscribe to Education Bench right now. Because I'm not here to waste your time. I'm here to make you pass.